Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So hope you have all checked my math solution of class 10 which I had done completed last 2 weeks back, which is of section 30/3/3. Okay, so I have completed all the section questions along with detailed answers. So if you have not gone through those videos and if you want the solution for maths, which is 30/3/3 slit, so I have pasted that playlist, that is each section for each video, and that playlist I have mentioned in the description, so you can check, and you can also mention your doubts in the comment section. Okay, so from now onwards we are going to start with science answer key and starting with biology, and today we are going to cover only 9 questions, that is only MCQs, because from biology we have only 9 MCQs, that is 1 mark questions, and tomorrow we'll try to cover physics MCQs first, which are 1 mark, and then we'll go with chemistry MCQs. So after covering all these MCQs we'll go with 2 marks, and if it is very less questions then we'll club biology and physics together, 2 marks and 3 marks and so on. Okay, in this way we'll cover marks wise so that it will be easy for revision for you if you want to attempt your betterment exam which is happening in May. Okay, so today it's a small class where we are going to cover only the 9 questions of science biology, which is 1 mark MCQs as well as 2 SSN reason questions. Okay, so let's start with the first question. So section A is biology in science, which is of set 31/3/2 set. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Observe the figure given below and identify the incorrect step for the activities setup. So you can see that we have 2 plants and they are closed with a jar and a plate they have mentioned, so that plate should be the KOH, which okay, they also mentioned that which is potassium hydroxide. Okay, so what is the steps? First one, both plants are kept in dark room for 3 days before placing them in separate glass jars. Yes, this should be correct. Both plants are covered with separate wooden bell jars. So they shouldn't be closed with wooden bell jars. Why? Because if wooden bell jars are opaque substances, they will not allow light to pass through it. So if they are closed with wooden substance, what will happen? The sunlight will not pass and photosynthesis will not happen. So this way B is the right answer, which because they are asked for the incorrect step. Okay, so B is the right answer. Why? Because it shouldn't be wooden, it should be glass jars. Why? Because for wooden is opaque substance and sunlight will not pass through opaque substance which is of wooden glass. Okay. Third one, use Vaseline to seal the bottom of the glass with glass place. Yes, the third is correct. Why? Because if you keep Vaseline, then the extra air will not pass through it. Okay, from outside oxygen will not, carbon dioxide or oxygen, which any gas will not pass through it. Use both potted plants were kept in sunlight for few hours before the iodine test for the presence of starch. So these will be kept in sunlight. So what will happen if sunlight is there and the glass is present? The sunlight will come into it will transparent, like it will pass through the glass jar and then the sunlight will fall on the plants, and then we can test for the iodine test using for the presence of starch, whether carbon dioxide is observed or not. Okay, let's move to the second question. Organisms of higher trophic level which feed on several types of organisms belongs to lower trophic level form which one? The answer is food web. A is the right answer. Okay, here I'll keep also mark the answer, which is B. And for second question, the answer is A. So we can have two things, either it can be food chain or food web, whereas for food chain it is single order. Like for example, I can say like plant. From here if I say fish can be taken by, okay, directly I can say it as man. Okay, so what is happening? This is a single chain, plant to fish, fish to man. What about food web? Food web is multiple, like it can have plant here and here I can say fish, and the same plant can also be taken by frog, and this again here I can say snake, and fish suppose I can say eagle, and snake again can be captured by eagle also. So here the order is changed, again snake, fish will not happen. So it is like multiple order, it's not like a single hierarchy. because that consists of food web. And why I am saying it is food web, not food chain, because I clearly mentioned which feed on several types of organisms belongs to lower trophic level. So lower trophic level, suppose 1 or 2 3 are present and one is dependent on multiple things, then it is food web. And here it is single hierarchy, where the higher trophic level is dependent upon only single element. Okay, so hope you understood. Okay, so let's move to the third question. In a synapse, the chemical signal is transmitted from dendrite end of one neuron to axonal end of another neuron, axon to cell body of the same neuron, cell body to the axon end of the same neuron, axonal end of one neuron to dendritic end of another neuron. The answer should be D. Why? Because the signal is transmitting from one neuron to another neuron. How the signal will transmit? So hope everyone knows what is neuron. So neuron presents like this. So from this bottom part, it is axon, the axonal end will be connected to another dendrite, dendrite of another neuron. So this connection synapse will happen where the signal from one from one neuron it transmits to another neuron. So from axonal end it is connected to the dendrite of second neuron. Okay. See the fourth one. The fourth question is, the growth of tendrils in grape plants is due to effect of light, effect of gravity, rapid cell division in tendril cells in contact with the support, rapid cell division in tendril cells that are away from support. The answer is D. So why? Because for grape plants it follows a different separate process called thigmotropism. So what happens is, when a tendril comes into contact with support, the part in contact grows slow and the part which is not in contact grows faster, where it also causes the tendril to circle. Okay, so this is called as thigmotropism, and this happens in the growth of tendrils in grape plants. And here, whichever is contact with support will not happen, which are away from the support, the growth happens, and it also happens in forms of coils. Okay, let's move to the next question. So to fifth one. In accumulation of toxic substances at higher trophic level of an ecosystem through the food chain, which of the following organisms is affected the most? So which is affected the most? The higher the order, the higher the effect. So the maximum, the highest level, highest trophic level will be affected the most. And repeating again, higher the trophic level, higher will be the effect of the toxic, because it will be keep on accumulating. So here in this plant, if you are talking about, so first one is small aquatic plant. So this is the bottom part or the first tier, and then from here it moves to small fish, and from here it moves to large fish, and the above one is the last, which is human beings. So higher, which is the highest order? Human beings are present in the highest trophic level, so the answer is human beings, because the toxic from small, it is added up to small fish, from small fish is added up to large fish, from large fish is added up to human beings. So total it is having the toxic which is present from all. Okay, hence the toxic levels of the highest trophic level will be highest, and here the highest trophic level who are present, human beings are present in this food chain. Hence the answer is human beings. Okay, next see the sixth one. In the plants, the role of cytokinins is cell division, because the cytokinin is nothing but a cytokinesis which preserves cytokinesis, which is nothing, promotes cell division. What about others also? Let's write it. What about wilting of leaves? If they ask in your betterment exam, wilting of leaves is happens by abscisic acid. Also mentioned as ABA. Then this can also be written as stress hormone. So growth of stem happens by gibberellus. Promote opening of stomatal pore. This I have some doubts, so let me just cross check. Okay, so promote opening of stomatal pore. It also happens by cytokinesis, but it is not the primary role. Okay, so here they are asking about only single option, then the main option is the cell division. Okay, next move to the seventh one. The number of chromosomes in parents and offspring of a particular species undergo sexual reproduction remains constant due to what will happen means it will Okay, sorry for the break. So let's go to the seventh question. The number of chromosomes in which parents and offspring of a particular species undergo sexual reproduction remains constant. The answer is D. It happens half of the chromosomes at the time of gamete formation. Okay, so doubling will not happen. Half is okay, but it's not after zygote formation. It happens at the time of gamete formation, and this process we call as meiosis. So meiosis is a process where both the sexual chromosomes gets combined and it will reduce into half. Okay, see the next one. So 8th and 9th questions are assessed reason questions. So the assessed reason questions are like A will be both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. And B option, both assertion and reason are true but not the correct explanation of A. Where C, assertion is true, R is false, and D, A is true, A is false and R is true. Okay, let's see the both questions and find out whether it belongs to which option. 8th one, the basic filtration unit in kidneys like in lungs is a cluster of very thin walled by blood capillaries. Yes, this is true. What about B? Each capillary cluster in kidneys is associated with the cup-shaped end of a coiled tube called Bowman's capsule. Yes, this is also true. What about, is there any relation between these two? Yes, it's a relation but not the exact reason. So the answer is B, where both A and recession are true but it's not the correct explanation of A. Okay, because it is not explaining how the filtration happened. Okay, it is just saying that each capillary tube contains associated cup-shaped tube and coiled tube end of a coiled tube called Bowman's capsule, but it is not saying how the Bowman's capsule is helping to filtrate the blood. Okay, let's see 9th one. Ozone gas at higher levels of atmosphere is a product of UV radiation acting on oxygen. Yes, this is true. The amount of ozone in the atmosphere began to drop sharply in 1980s. This is also true, but is this again the correct explanation? No. So again the answer is B, because it has to explain how the formation is happening, or it has no relation. Saying that it is getting reduced is the relation of UV rays. Okay, so because the reason for this, if it is something mentioned in the session that due to chlorofluorocarbons and the emission began like it gets disturbed, something like that, and then the reason that, okay, sorry, in the assertion if they say that UV ozone is getting depleted because of chlorofluorocarbons, and in the reason if they explain chlorofluorocarbons what they are doing, then it will be both A and true and is the right correct explanation. But here they are just explaining two scenarios, which is ozone is at the higher levels of atmosphere is the product of UV radiation acting on oxygen is one true. In the same way, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere began to drop is also true but not the correct explanation. So finally, all the biology MCQs answer key, I'll write it here. MCQs and assertion reason. The answers are, first one B, A, D. Let me write 3. First one is B, second is A, third is D, fourth is again D, fifth is B, sixth is A, D, B, A, and let's write last 3 answers as well. Seventh is D, and last 2 I already know which are B and B. So answers D, B, and B. So if you notice, there is not even one C option in all 9 questions. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that every A, B or C will be present. So here if you notice 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are B's and 3 are D's and 2 are Yes and no C. Okay, so in this way all the biology 1 mark questions are been solved. So tomorrow or mostly day after tomorrow we'll try to cover physics as well as chemistry MCQs, first 1 mark questions, and then we'll go with the 2 mark answers. Okay, so thanks for watching. So let's meet again in the next live video. Mostly we'll try to have tomorrow morning around 11 or 12 p.m. Okay, so there we will be covering physics. Section A is physics or chemistry. Okay, section B is chemistry, so we'll cover chemistry MCQs. So I'm repeating again, I have already solved all the maths question paper questions which is of 30/3/3 set, so that I have mentioned in the description. There you can find the playlist which has all section questions along with options. Okay, so thanks for watching. Let's meet again with another video as I mentioned, which chemistry MCQs.